Shalom, Akim. Want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Recha, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well and push out this word at a high frequency. Peace, safety, and much love to the elect laboring around the four corners of the earth, giving all diligence to make their calling of election sure. This video is going to be pretty much foundational things, but some things of foundation, you got to always revisit for younger brothers that comes into the faith. And I want to speak about the importance of the brotherhood and how when the body of Yahawashi is in unison and everything is flowing properly in the spirit, there's no hatred, there's no malice, there's no envyings and strifes amongst the body, how the spirit of the Lord can flow through the church. Yesterday at camp, we had two Christians come up, Adam and EJ Love, which I'll do another video on that when the clip gets uploaded. But they were basically trying to come up against us with microphones and speakers. And because, through the spirit of Yahawashi, we held it together. They were trying to overtalk us with the bullhorns and the speakers. But as a brotherhood, as a body, collective body, we swung the sword together and we chopped those Christians into pieces. And it was all because we was moving in unison and through the spirit of Yahawashi. All right. So I'm gonna go to 2 Peter chapter 2, or 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17. It says, "Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear the Most High, honor the King." See what it says here? You gotta love the brotherhood. You have certain men coming to this faith, man, and they really don't have that pure love for brothers, man. All right. They want to crack on them all the time, belittle them. They don't never want to build them up. They always want to, use them for certain things that help benefits them. But they don't consider, that the men that's around you should be looked at as important people, as important brothers, man. Not looking down on brothers just because they can't speak how you speak, or because they came into the truth after you, or anything of that nature. You want to help build that brother up. You want to have love. You want to have love for that brother, man. But you got false brethren that show that fake love. But in this truth, you got to have pure love for one another, man. And Yahawashi told us about that. That's actually in the law, man. That's one of the two greatest commandments. Is love thy neighbor as thy love thyself, man. So when you follow those commandments, man, you're very careful how you speak to brothers, how you deal with brothers, what you say to them, what you do around them. You'll rebuke them when necessary. You'll get on them, push them, spiritually push them, just to make sure that brother stay on point. So you gotta love the brotherhood, man. And when you love the brotherhood, there's no time for there to be any schisms in the body. Having a hatred and envying because you see one brother putting in a lot of work, but you ain't doing nothing. So you start envying and having hatred built up in your spirit and in your heart, man. Your life. All right. There's no time for that, man. All right. This is like I said, these are pretty basic scriptures that we always go into, but I want to reiterate these points to show the importance of the brotherhood and unity within the brotherhood. Because a lot of men that was a part of this faith that see how sincere brothers move, they wish that they can have that. They wish they could have the brotherhood back, man. But they can't. This is a special thing that Yahawashi set up for us here in America, man. The brotherhood. It's a safe haven, man. It's a zone of relief. It's more so a spiritual comfort zone, man. Being around the brothers. This is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1. It says, "Let brotherly love continue." Yeah, the scriptures say, "Let brotherly love continue." All right? Meaning you don't be one of them fake brothers that you start out loving everybody, but then you start hating the brothers around you. And he this and that and this and that. Y'all ain't this. Y'all ain't on no level. Y'all got to do better. Y'all, every time you turn around, there's always, those jakes that always want to try to put you down. But they never there to build you up. They never there to help when you see a brother low. But every time he make a mistake, you always got that one Jake that always want to try to rub it in and make them feel bad. But then when it come time to really try to help brothers out and build them up, do videos and lessons, and have them over for a study class, those Jakes be nowhere around. That's wickedness, man. All right, you gotta have a balance with this, man. And you gonna rebuke a brother and get on him about doing something, which that's a part of our culture. Rebuke and chastisement, man. So when you do those things, in return, you do certain things to help edify him too and build him up. If he takes the correction, it's a balance. But Jake doesn't have proper balance. They always want to tell somebody what they not doing. You're not doing this. You ain't this. You ain't that. You ain't this. You ain't that. But then when it come time to showing them how to do it or build them up according to where he's lacking at, you not there to show him. And that ain't a good spirit, man. That's not a good spirit to have. All right, you got to let that brotherly love continue, man, amongst the body, because when there's no schisms amongst the body, you can see how Yahawashi can use the body for a greater purpose, for a better purpose, man. All right, for the purpose of Yahawashi. That's the power of the Lord. The power of the Lord is in the brotherhood, man, in the spirit. All right. This is John chapter 13, and I'm going to start at 34. It says, a new commandment I give unto you. So like him, blow it up a little bit. It says, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. All right. So Yahawashi said, the love that I have for you, you show that to one another. All right. And that comes in the form of what? First and foremost, following Yahawashi, because that's the love, following and keeping the commandments. All right. So that's one way to show your love towards your brothers, is showing him that you're keeping the commandments to the best of your ability. All right. And then your labors, your labors, putting in that work so that the hopefully elect can be sealed. All right. Being charitable to brothers, being gentle, on how you deal with the brotherhood. If a brother need help and he's low down and out, and you got the resources to help him, that's a part of being a good brother. Verse 35, it says, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples. And when these people walk past the camp and they don't see any strife and contention amongst the body, they see brotherly love, they see unison. All right, they see togetherness, and they see that how we deal with each other. We talk good about each other on the highways and byways. Then the other people that see that look at us, they'll look at that and be like, man, they really together. They really got love for each other, man. They really do care about each other, man. And that's actually a something that Yahawashi set up to show his power. The only way that the children of Israel can come back together is through Yahawashi. Because any of these other organizations or these other so-called gatherings of so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, there's always drama and problems and contentions and disagreements, But in the body, in the true body of Yahawashi in the spirit, there's none of that, man. And if there is any oughts or discrepancies, it's ironed out behind the scenes, and brothers move on with the same spirit of unison, man. All right. It says, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. And that's the power of Yahawah. It's power in the love and loving the brotherhood, man. A man that loves the sheep of Yahawashi and the body and the brotherhood, is the spirit of the Lord will bless that brother, man. All right, because he see that same love that Yahawashi had. This brother loves the brotherhood like Yahawashi loved the brotherhood, man. And the Lord will bless you and protect you and give you a spiritual increase for doing so. But if you always balling your mouth up at brothers and you ain't treating them with respect for no reason, you always want to belittle and talk down, and he ain't on no level, and nah, they can't come here, they can't come around, they can't, you know what I'm saying? The Most High ain't gonna be with you, man. You know, the brotherhood, man, the sheep of Yahawashi belong to Yahawashi, man. They don't belong to anybody else, man. All right, and we hope we are part of that number. But you have men that come in and act like that brothers belong to them personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Yahawashi purchased the elect with his blood. These are the brothers are his possessions. You know, we are just in the care for the flock. And you gotta really care for the flock, man. And you gotta feed the flock. You know, you gotta feed the flock. You gotta take care of the brotherhood, be charitable. You gotta be mindful. You gotta help build them up, strengthen them. You know, and not always gloating and basking in your own self and how the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with you, but the Spirit of the Lord deals with all the sincere brothers, man. Whether he a younger brother that's been in the camp for a year or 2 years, to a brother that may have been in the camp for 10, 15 years, man, the Spirit of Yahawashi can work through either or vessel. You know, either vessel, man, the Lord can work through. And that's how you got to look at this thing, man. It's 144,000 men, not just one. All right. Now we have leaders that set up in the Spirit to guide us through the right path, and we show those leaders reverence. All right, because that's a part of our culture as well. Showing your leaders, your teachers, and your the apostles and the elders, you show them respect because of the work that they put in for this truth, starting back decades ago. You know, they built on the foundation of Yahawashi so that we're able to come into the same house and help build as well. But we got to show respect to the experienced laborers. That's also a part of having love for the brotherhood, respecting the top heads. But you got certain men, they don't respect the top heads, man. All right, they respect them. You will hear them with all this lip talk, this mouth praise, that they respect and love the apostles and elders. But indeed, man, they ain't doing what the apostles and elders are doing. They do the total opposite. Then behind the scenes, they probably scoffing. That's another thing. So that's how the world is gonna know the disciples, man, by the love that you have for one another, man. And that be a clear sign, man. Certain men be showing that they really don't care and love for the brotherhood, and it really shows that you might not be a man of the Lord. You know, this is 1 Corinthians, Salakia. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahawashi, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you. See? So that's the importance of the brotherhood. Unison. Speaking the same thing. Being in conjunction with the spirit of Yahawashi and one another. You know? Having that same judgment, that same mind frame. You know, that same way of thinking. You know? It says, and that there be no divisions among you. See, the Lord ain't dealing with that division, man. All right? That's why we don't get with these other camps. You know? We don't get with these other camps. Why? Because there's division amongst these other camps. All right? You got a summit getting ready to come up, I think, next year. And you're gonna have a bunch of Israelites in the building, that all of these different Israelites have different doctrines and they don't speak the same thing, but they coming together, under the name of Yahawashi. Yahawashi is not dealing with that, and that's why we don't get with that. That's why we stick with the brothers of Great Millstone that's following the apostles and elders through the spirit of Yahawashi. And all those brothers, when we around, man, there's no divisions, man. You know, everything is flowing in sync and in a harmonious arrangement. It's a cosmos. All right. It says, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. You know, and that's what you see. These other camps, they don't have the same mind. They don't have the same judgment. But that is an important thing that has to be maintained in a body. It's camaraderie, togetherness, man. Being in unison, in sync one another with the spirit of Yahawashi. There's no time for divisions to be in the body. And if there is a division or a discrepancy in the body, the Spirit of the Lord always brings it out to the forefront and it gets dealt with. You know, it gets dealt with and it gets ironed out, whether that means a person getting kicked out or a person getting reproved and hearing what's been said. You know, that's the importance of this thing, man. All right, I'm gonna get this last scripture and I'm gonna close it out. Salaki, this is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. It says, there is one body and one spirit. Okay? Well, let me see if I can start up. Yeah, I can start up at 3. All right. This is Ephesians 4 and 3. It says, endeavoring to keep the unity of the spirit in the bond of peace. All right. So in these camps, there should be peace within these camps. It shouldn't always be chaos every time you link up with brothers. It's an argument. You know what I'm saying? Brothers going in about this, going in about that. It should be peace, really. You know? And that's the only real form of peace that you can find on earth today is within the brotherhood, man. These different camps, the body. All right? It said, endeavoring to keep the unity of the spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. So there's one body and one spirit. Now, where are all these other guys getting the rest of this stuff from? And then they still trying to come together. That's not one body and that's not one spirit. That's multiple bodies and multiple spirits, and that's demons. All right? You other groups out here, man, the spirit of Yahawashi is not dealing with y'all, man. All right? And we can see that the spirit of the Lord is not dealing with you according to how y'all camps are. You know? According to how y'all treat each other. You know? You could tell Johanna barely even talk to the low-ranking men. You know, or Johanna barely even deals with any, certain members of his congregation like that, man. You know, you can tell that. You can see that in Nate. You can see that in a lot of these camps, man. That there's no real love there. You know. Verse 4 it says, there is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. It says, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. All right. So that right there sums it up. You know, the importance of the unity of the spirit, one, being in one, having one faith, one baptism. All right. Knowing that the Son's name is Yahawashi and his Father's name is Yahawah, and that through those names we'll get salvation. Knowing that the brothers around you could possibly be a part of that number, and you have to deal with these brothers delicately and peacefully, man. You know, you have to make sure you rebuke the brothers. You know, you chastise them, you get on them, you exhort, encourage them. All right, you push them, you give them things to do in the body. You know, this thing is powerful, man. It's power in the brotherhood, man. So with that, we give all praise to Yahawah Bashim Awashai, Bahasham Rukah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and safety to the elect men, women, and children. Shalom.